All right, I don't know what the hell. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the HalfGen podcast, where it's apparently 0 seconds till start for about 12 seconds. I'm
I don't know
Chris.
what it was doing there, but it did something, and now we're recording.
Yeah, I'm Chris. I don't know if I had this. I trimmed my beard, I think, since the last episode. I don't remember if I had the trimmed beard last time, but I've cleaned it up a bit. Brought everything in a little bit. I know,
Did I have
hardly
braids last time?
recognizable.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Nat had braids last time, and now
Cypher
does
still doesn't have a
not.
camera.
Cypher Tony has no camera.
Still anonymous.
Yes, still too poor for a kid. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
All right now.
He's just stuck in the editing vault. He's just like, they pay me enough to. No, I don't pay him enough for anything really.
No.
But I don't get paid for this either. So we get it's something's got to give here.
Hey.
You get paid more than I do, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I've made more money in this business than you or Ross.
Ross is not.
Facts.
Ross is not going to be joining us this week, so it's the Tres Amigos here, and
Squad.
the what?
The Tangent Squad.
The Tangent Squad. Yes, the Tangent Squad is on approach rapidly. Speaking of tangents, Nat, why don't you take us on one? You had a story.
It's not a very good opening, but it wasn't a very good opening for my finger either.
Oh,
so, I got home and I would when I left this morning, I was like, oh, my bathroom trash can is full. I should take that out. But I was like, then I got to bring it back in, and I was kind of running late. So I left it when I was going to come home. So I came home to a bunch of Amazon packages, moving them around. Mars is trying to say hello because we have BarkBox. Every time he sees a box, he thinks it's for him. So he's there, trying to get in. He's like, oh, what's this? What's this? So I'm just like, trying to rush to get up here so I could eat my Philly cheesesteak and then get on the podcast. And I go in the bathroom to take the trash can out, and I try to grab it, and I use what's called a safety razor to shave. If you know that, and they come with these razor blades that you change in and out. And I shaved this morning, and I threw it out because ideally you should only use it once. So I threw it out, and I put my hand in there and grabbed it, and as you can see by my thumb was bleeding the most I've ever seen it bleed. I grabbed it right at the edge, and it fucking cut right into my thumb. And there was blood everywhere. And I was running around looking for a Band-Aid for 5 minutes.
You can never find a Band-Aid when you're bleeding a lot. If it's a small thing, the Band-Aid's always right there. But if it's something...
I don't even know.
I was leaking through the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have Band-Aids in my house, honestly.
Nobody knows until they need one.
Exactly.
And then you're like, well, this Band-Aid, I got a Spider-Man Band-Aid from when I was 6. Maybe this still works. I don't know.
It should still work, yeah, right?
I didn't find them where they were supposed to be. I had 2 stray Band-Aids of varying kinds sitting in my medicine cabinet for some reason. Just on their own, dolo, chilling there. And I used both of them, so I don't know what's going to happen next time. But yeah, I cut my thumb pretty bad. And I'm afraid to look at it.
I love the irony that safety razors are so fucking sharp. I feel like I have a knife, I used to open stuff, and I feel like I could put pressure on it and it would not cut my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
If I really wanted to, I could do it. But if I just put flat pressure on it, it wouldn't cut anything. But then
it was even worse because I didn't even know it was there, so I just grabbed it to pick it up. Yeah, I was sitting there and it's sink, and I was like.
But the thing called a safety razor is just haha, you made physical contact with me. Now your thumb is open. It's not a cut. It's not like a slit. It's just it's open. Open for business.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it was in the actual razor blade, I feel like it would be fine. But outside, there's all safety's off. Mm-hmm. They're you're on your own with this one, pal. So yeah, opened my finger up quite good. like I said, quite afraid to look at it.
I don't blame you. Because that stuff like that, like that stuff is like always messed up. Like this is a dumb thing, but like I got a little like it's healed up mostly now, but a little like scab on my hand. So I was at work the other day, and like the scab is starting to like peel off, and so I'm like, okay, I don't want this just hanging off all day. So I kind of peeled it the rest of the way off, and of course,
It's bleeding profusely.
it starts bleeding. Because it's just like everything's fine. The part that's already peeling, nothing wrong. But then it's just like, oh, you took the oh, you shouldn't have did that. So it's just like bubbling up, like when it forms like that little bubble. You know what I'm talking about. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I'm at work walking around like this so I can keep it elevated. I'm like, okay, I need a Band-Aid. So I'm going back and I get like, they've got like these Band-Aids, but like the actual part that like I need, like the padded part is like half the actual length of or half the size of the Band-Aid. So it's like this little tiny thing. So I'm trying to like precision. So I go like in the bathroom, I rinse it off, and I'm like trying to precision apply. So I'm like, getting it on there right. And so I'm walking around all day with like a Band-Aid over this. And I'm just like, okay, well, hopefully it just stays. I don't know. And it was on for like half the day, and it ended up being fine. But the whole time prior to the Band-Aid going on, it's just like, okay, well, this is your life now. It's going to be enough to be noticeable. And then it didn't even like rescab. It just like, it just healed. After that, it just like healed. It is healed faster now than it ever did. And I'm just like, what the hell? Why? Why is my body being an asshole?
Feel that.
Yeah, I think I've only ever had like bad bleeds once in my life before. It was like in high school in art class. We were like working with X-Acto knives. Those things are sharp as hell.
I cut the side of my thumb over
I just
with an X-Acto
touched
knife.
like my skin and it just like cut it open. Those things are.
Yeah, I've had several incidents bleeding profusely that we don't need to get into all of them, but I think it's more than I can count on my hand.
I used to. I think it finally fully healed. I used to, on one of my knuckles, I had a scar, and I think it's finally gone. But like, I reached into the top of a locker and kind of just slid my hand across it. It was a little one. It was just the top of one of the knuckles, so it was like kind of reaching in, and it just like sliced it. And and it was enough that it left a scar.
That's
for like
the worst,
years.
I
I
don't know the condition of the metal that cut you, so that could have been like tetanus city right there.
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
I was in like high school, so like I was, getting my shots and stuff. I was fine.
Yeah, like all the long-lasting scars and shit I got from high school. Like I have this burn scar that I got from like welding class and stuff.
The only scar I really still have. Hold on, I don't know if I've. Let me see if I can get close.
It's kind of gone now, but I have another one. A
Hold on,
scar.
I got to bring the camera closer.
Oh, a scar on your lip? Oh, that's worse.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that.
Right there, you see?
Oh
that?
yeah, it's like a little W-ish
So-
looking.
Yeah, it's like a little like. So, me being. Oh, let me fix this. Me being a 4-year-old, my uncle at my grandparents' house decides I'm gonna, he's gonna go upstairs. Me being 4 and curious, now I got to fix my camera, is like, okay, I'm going to try and follow him. So he sees me trying to follow him and he's like, no, don't come up here. And he puts up the little like kid gate at the top of the stairs. Now I'm just fiddling with my camera. I'm so sorry. That's better. So he puts the thing at the top of the stairs, the little gate. Should have put it at the bottom. But he puts it at the top, so there's like
put those at the bottom.
There's like it's like one of those sets of stairs that like like this. So you walk up one and then you turn and you walk up the other. So he puts it at the top of the first one. Me and my infinite 4-year-old intelligence decided I can climb this. Take the whole gate down, fall down the stairs, smack my face into the door jamb. A big old piece of wood just goes right through it. At this point, I don't remember crying. I don't remember it hurting. I just remember everyone standing around me. Then we went to a doctor. Then we went to a hospital. They put a vest on me, and I woke up and had stitches. and they said the scar should go away. And I have it to this day.
I have scars for stuff I don't even remember. I have a scar under my eye for something. I don't even remember what happened. So I have like an iron. I could drop the iron on my arm. Well, I don't know if you can see that. There's like 2 parallel lines right
Oh,
here.
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's actually going away a bunch. Like, it used to be way darker. It used to be like, what the fuck happened to you? But
yeah, it's
I have a
funny.
bunch
Like,
of
you know,
scars all over.
a bunch of scars just like go away and everything. But then there's like one like this that's just like it was supposed to go away, but didn't. And then there's these other ones that I think will never go away. And then one day I'm like, where did it go?
Mm-hmm.
It was here. And I'm still like, where did it really go? Like, I'm trying to remember which hand it was on. Might have been this. I don't know. Might have been that. I don't know. But yeah, welcome to the body horror portion of the podcast.
I mean, I've died like twice already, so. You know.
Huh?
I've died like twice already, as in like you said something and I was just like.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. And that's just like, no. Let's talk more about scars and how we got them. No, let's not. Let's talk about scars, emotional scars from video games. No.
We have scars from bad video games.
God, so many. Well, speaking of video games that aren't exactly great, I'm gonna
say bad.
Well, no, that's the thing. So Tony and I last night we played through Operation Tango. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I talked about it briefly a couple months ago. It's a Divergent co-op game. Actually, before I get off topic, I wanted to show this. I wanted to originally segue into ridiculous purchases because that's my thing. I buy ridiculous things. Everyone here is familiar with Pro ZD, right? Sungwon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know who that is?
Nope.
You don't know who Pro ZD is? He used to be on Vine. He does a lot of skits.
I'm terrible with names, so maybe
Fair
I
enough.
do, but I don't know the name.
I have a refrigerator senpai.
Oh, of course.
He's got the gun and everything. Refrigerator senpai.
It's intense.
It's a vinyl figure. It's actually like pretty beefy. I kind of couldn't
Who's
resist.
that
It was
from?
like 20
Can you
bucks.
open it?
Who's
No,
that
this is from his skits.
I'm saying, like, what company made the?
Oh, it is
Vinyl.
from U2's.
Yeah, U2's make some cool ones. I have a couple U2's.
Yeah.
I have a couple U2 ones.
There we
Like,
go.
I have this swelling one right here from U2's.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like it's a really just beefy vinyl figure. It was stupid enough I couldn't resist, and it was
they're,
like it was the
cheap.
right
They're fairly
price.
cheap for what you're getting. I feel
Exactly,
like.
that's what I'm saying. Like for the price I paid, like that thing is like solid. I have bought more expensive pieces that felt way worse than that.
That's what I'm saying. Oh man, I fucked my plan up just now. Yeah, I have this one.
Oh, that's neat. What's that
It's
from?
like 2 pieces. It's just like, I don't know if you ever seen that YouTube channel where it's like chill lo-fi hip hop beats.
No.
And yeah, it's just like an anime girl at her desk with like headphones on, and it's cute, and she has a cat on her desk.
Necessary cat.
You know, it's just cute.
Oh, and then
gotta rock with the cuteness, and it was on like $20. I was like, can't beat that.
I got this shirt that may or may not be becoming terrible to celebrate 20 years. 20 years of Xbox and Halo. I bought this shirt because Microsoft made a shirt, and I was like, they probably used a pretty good company for that. And the shirt is nice, except the gold on it, I think, is coming off and becoming glitter.
I mean,
and
on one hand, I'd be like, that's fine.
Some cheap
but
print.
when
can't
the
see it from
shirt
there,
is
but-
all gold, like when literally without the gold, it's a black shirt. That's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm not okay. Basically,
Yeah, eventually it's just going to be the outline of 20.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
I just responded to.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, so I don't know what the heck is going to happen with this shirt. I might have to like reach out to like Microsoft and be like, hey, my shirt's not going to say 20 much longer. Like, I paid money for this shirt and it's not going to
How much that
last.
cost?
It was like 20-something bucks.
That's probably...
It's a comfortable shirt, but it shouldn't be like, I can literally already see
They probably
black
just went
underneath
cheap on the
letter-
print.
Like I don't know if I
Well,
can
like,
properly
the thing
convey
is,
this.
you're supposed, like, especially with foil stuff like that, you're supposed to layer it. Like, you're supposed to put like a white ink at the bottom. I can see the glitter. You're supposed to put like a white ink
that's
on the
legit,
bottom
just
for it
glitter
to
in
like
there.
sit on,
But
like
I wanna
sit
show,
into. I feel like I can see on the shirt, like around it, how it's just glittery.
like down here, you can kind of see some of the shirt underneath.
Yeah,
You can't see it on the camera. Doesn't do it
I mean,
justice.
we could see. Yeah.
No, it's not gonna focus.
So normally, what they do with like gold or metallic paint, they normally do a base print beneath it and then lay that on top of the base.
And then I got the glitter on my finger. Will it show?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it will either. Nothing shiny. Oh, you can kind of see it if I move it a little. No. But yeah, I'm covered in like glitter now. It's terrible.
I feel that.
I wouldn't have bought the shirt if I'd known it was just gonna glitter me. Poor
They
Master
trapped you.
Chief. He didn't ask for this.
They trapped you.
Yeah, they trapped me. They glitter bombed me without glitter bombing me. But yeah,
My God.
video games. Operation Tango.
Mhm.
It's fine. It's a fun game with some mini games that are not fun, and some weird quirks
Mhm.
that you would think they would have fixed, but they didn't. So we played through the whole game last night. We played through like the first mission as like a demo a couple months ago. And so we're playing through it, and there's like these weird mini games where they try and get both players involved. So what they'll have you do is like one player will control like they'll put like this maze on the screen, and one player can go up and down, and one player can go left and right. And
Mhm.
you know, being that there's always a little bit of latency, it doesn't always work because you know when everything's stationary, it's fine. But then what they do is they start to introduce a lot of moving parts. So like, you know, the walls start moving, or all of a sudden they've got like a wind at your back that's always pushing you forward or pushing you backwards. And so you're constantly trying to like work against the game, not necessarily like with your partner. You're just trying to get around the game,
Mhm.
and
What
you know
game
it
is this
works in the
again?
end. Operation Tango.
Cool. I can remember Tango, but I couldn't remember what the fuck.
Yeah,
the
so
first
it's
part
like the games we talked about a lot. We Were Here. It was a lot like that. So it was like basically each of us kind of sees half a puzzle, and so you got to
that
communicate a
sucks.
lot. Like,
was. Oh, God,
okay,
this is loud.
yeah, like you know, Tony would be back there being like, "Hey, I need an IP. Can you get me the IP of a computer in there?" And I'd be like, "Okay." So I'm looking for a computer. I'm like, "Okay, I got an IP address. This." He's like, "Okay, I'm in their system." You know, and so he'd be like,
So I
"Okay,
feel
I'm going to
like
give you
the
these
aesthetic
credentials."
for this game is really cool.
It's a nice looking game. It runs well. You know, I don't have any complaints overall about the game, but like the mini games, like some of them were just like really annoying and like time consuming.
Not games.
Hmm?
Not games.
Yeah, it's just
like the game I feel like I can make, and I've been trying to think of ways to make. I've been trying to work around how you would make hacking mini games fun, and I'm trying to figure a good compromise that feels authentic to hacking while being fun. I feel like a lot of games don't do it well. Does that make sense? Like they end up just being free, or they end up being like, you know, just kind of like, oh, click these numbers in a row.
Yeah, and it was a lot of that. Like some of the mechanics at a certain point felt like it was like, you know, keep talking and no one explodes. But Tony was mostly playing he was playing the hacker, and I was more of like the agent in the field, so he could talk more to how the game feels as a hacker.
I think the game kind of encompasses a hacker pretty well. Although I don't really know how real hacking is, so I can't really comment on that. But it makes you feel like, because you have to access like databases, get servers and stuff like that.
There's a lot of penetrating firewalls. And like there were times where he's like, hey, I got stuck on a firewall. I need you to help me get through it. So I would go in, like I'm in this server room and I'm like basically telling the server like, nah, he's cool. Let him go, So there's a lot of stuff like that, but then it's cool because I'm like, hey, I can't get through this door. And he's like, okay, let me give you these credentials. So now I'm this other person who works here. And so the building thinks I'm her. And then like at one point it was like, you're going to be responsible if something gets through if something gets through this firewall. And I'm like, oh no, I'm ruining this woman's career.
Mm-hmm.
But like the biggest issues were like times where he like Tony would be communicating something to me, but like, it would already be happening. So it's like, okay, like he needs to tell me this drone's coming around the corner. And he'd be like, okay, the drone's coming around the corner, but I don't know that. So I'm standing here thinking, okay, I'm good. But then the drone comes around the corner and immediately spots me.
Do you guys have two separate perspectives?
Yeah. So he's looking at the drones and he sees their path. But like he's looking through like security cameras and stuff. So he doesn't always see exactly where I am. He just knows like, okay, he's in this area and I got to get him through it. And then like there's these weird situations
so you guys
where
never see each other.
Correct. Like essentially, like
cool.
Well, I can see him through cameras. He never sees my character.
Okay.
Know that.
No, but I think games that play with that are kind of like I like games that do that. But there's definitely some disconnect that I feel like you have to work over that, like, unless all the games like kind of like play to that, it does feel like kind of like a separation of games and then you like kind of converge.
Yeah. Like my biggest issue is we're trying, like, we got a lot of bugs and there was a situation where Tony repeatedly, he was playing with the friend pass. I bought the game. He was playing with the friend pass. So it's one of those games where only one of you has to own the game. And like, we're getting to this point and it's telling him to interact with these nodes. And he's like, I can't, So we're running around and I'm trying to like fail this mission and I can't because we're in like a no fail scenario, but his shit's bugged. And then, we get ourselves in a situation where he's trying to tell me, hey, there's someone patrolling around there. I have no clue who they are. And he's just like, they're coming up on you. And I'm like, who? And then I get caught. And then it reloads the checkpoint and I get caught again. So the enemy or the drone or whatever that caught me is right there. So it reloads the checkpoint and they spot me again. And it reloads the checkpoint and they spot me again. And so for 12 checkpoints, we're going through this until finally it basically is like, oh, you're stuck. Let me just push you back a couple minutes. But like it takes it forever to get that right. So like we're sitting there in this cycle and it's just like we can't play the game until the game realizes it's broken. And sometimes it figures it out in 4 resets. Sometimes it figures it out in 1 reset. And sometimes it figures it out in 13.
Okay. I'm going to finish these chips because they're like annoying me.
Luckily the game, it wasn't that long, so if we like lose some progress, it doesn't really take us that long to get back to where we were.
But still shouldn't do that.
Like we did the first mission and we both had to restart our games to access the second mission.
Damn. Yeah, for some reason it was still registering. It just came out.
Okay.
It came out June 1st.
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Tuesday. I would assume at least that stuff, they're having to restart in game and stuff, should be stuff like that could be fixed, could be patched. So
you would think, but like you would think it would be fixed already. Like for a developer that had this demo out forever, it like the later missions have so much more risk involved than like the earlier levels. And the thing is that's when the game starts to fall apart. But like it literally bugged. Once we finished the stuff that was in that original demo, we literally couldn't progress the game without restarting it.
They probably didn't have anybody play testing it. They probably felt like the test from from like the demo was enough.
Yeah. Like I look at it as when we played like the We Were Here games, Tony, I feel like we always had like one puzzle that always kind of stumped us a little bit. There was always one puzzle in those games and then we would figure it out and it would be fine because the rest of those games were so fun and everything. But it felt like every mission of Operation Tango had something that was like really kind of like frustrating.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
if
like
you felt the same way.
one of like it's also how like they're structured, because like in some of the things where we had to do like cooperatively, there was like these modules, but so it immediately the modules like grabbing attention. I'm looking at them, seeing what we can do, but then there's like this plain text like in the center of the screen that I didn't notice that tells us what to do. So I'm just like looking around, and I guess I didn't notice it, and we were like at that for a while.
Damn.
It's just how they don't have it structured to like at least grab their attention to the important stuff, because I didn't know like there were instructions for a good while. We were just looking around at these modules and just wondering what to do.
Yeah, like sometimes they're not especially clear about like, hey, here's what you like. They're clear about what you can and cannot interact with, but they're not always clear in how you should do it. Like sometimes, and the crazy part is a lot of times they just put it in plain text right in front of you, like, hey, do this. But like, you're not looking for that. Like they do nothing to draw your attention to that. They just put a lot of stuff on the screen sometimes. And like, you're looking at the things, you're looking for those triggers. Like you're looking for the things that like, okay, this I can clearly interact with. How do I interact with it? And you're looking around, okay, maybe I need to do something else first. And then Tony's on his end doing the same thing. When in reality, it's right in front of us. And it's like this plain, boring text that we're not thinking about. We're not looking at that because the game has never told us that stuff like that is important, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the game has us trained to look for these certain things. And then it flips the script by adding a bunch of like, okay, now you have to go over here and do this stuff. I'm sorry, I keep playing with my mustache. I keep feeling like I'm eating part of it, and I'm not.
It's cool.
You know, you got
you got hungry from
the
seeing me eat my
phantom
chips.
strand. You know.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
always
just
get
feels
that when
it's
like the
right
sides of the lips like get long, and it's just like
it's like
tries
it's
to get
not
into my
long,
mouth.
No, it's not there, and
Cypher,
it feels like
mustache?
it is. But it's
oh
not.
no, we need to get
No,
Cypher
not
a
really.
webcam, because I need
guess.
I need to figure out what Cypher looks like now.
I don't really grow facial hair that much. It's
He will when he's
like
older.
enough where I have to like trim it every once in a while, but
I don't
really
know.
not
In my
much.
head, I never imagined you with any facial hair. I don't know why.
I still don't.
Yeah, it's
I know
not
what he
much.
looks. I know what he
You know-
looks like, and I don't imagine it.
But I don't need you to send me a picture or anything. I need this to be a natural, progression.
Someday when we meet face to face, you'll see.
Here we go.
Hey,
When
Right
all
on
this
down to
COVID
Texas.
stuff is over, maybe we'll so go somewhere, meet somewhere, maybe like PAX or something. I don't know.
We'll have HalfGen Con. There'll be 6 people there. It'll be
We'll have
at
just
a,
like
it'll
a
be at a Dave
small
and
room
Buster's.
somewhere.
No, it'll be at a Dave and Buster's. We're gonna meet at a booth.
Oh yeah, I'd be there. I'd fucking be
And
down
then we're
for
gonna
some
go
Dave
play.
and Buster's.
Then we're gonna go play Fire Team Raven. But yeah, like it's the best mission. I don't know what was your favorite mission, Tony. What was the one that you thought you really liked?
Not really sure. Really,
See, I
like they were all kind of average. I don't know.
I liked the train. That was the one mission that I felt really good about almost all the way through.
Yeah, I
there's
think
this-
I'd like to train, especially
there's
like
this-
near that end.
Yeah, like there's this train mission where basically like, he stays at the station, he's hacking this train, and we got to find this person. So like we're tailing this guy and we're trying to find these files, and he put them on some random person's phone. So we're trying to figure out. So like I find these files and he's like, okay, let me hack this, and he's using that, and he's like, okay, the person we're looking for is in car 4, and he's opening the doors for me, and I'm looking around. He's like, okay, here are the details of the person. And then I'm looking at all these people and I find them. So I hack their device, and then like they realize I'm doing it. So they counter hack me with a bunch of like pop-up ads and stuff. And then
sounds intense.
like I'm trying to hack this dude, and there's this message. He's like, yo, someone's trying to hack our signal. And they're like, all right, I'm headed there. And Tony's like, yo, this dude is coming to your car. I'm trying to lock the doors. And so this dude rolls up in the car, and I'm just sitting there trying to hack this shit, and he's looking around. So I'm like backing off into the corner, and he's just like, yo, he's got a radius around him. Just don't go near him. And the dude gets off the train, and the game comes up like, it's your last chance to get this. And so I get the file, and then they're like, oh my God, you blew it. And he's like, if I can't have the file, no one can have it. And so they start sending this train full speed down the track, no brakes. So I got to get to the front of the train, and we got to kick the brakes back in. And so like there's these 6 panels and stuff, and I'm ripping off the panel. I'm like, okay, I got this in front of me. And he's like, okay, so if this is true and this is true, you have to like cut this wire, or you have to like make this mixture we're trying to make. And he's like, okay, so here's the pattern. You got to add this. You got to add this. And I'm like, yo, the mixture's fucked. Like something's overloaded. He's like, okay, add 3 drops of this at 1 second intervals. And so I'm doing this. He's like, okay, like blue, green, red, green, blue. And we're making this mixture. And then it's like, okay, we got to go over here. And he's like, okay, how many connectors do you see? All right, so you got to do this here, put that there. And I'm like frantically trying to move this stuff. And like the timer's ticking down. And every time we do it, it buys us a little more time. And we're going to all these things. I'm like, I need this key. I found the box. He's like, okay, let me open it. He's like, okay, so the key looks like this. I'm like, got it. I'm trying to like unlock all this shit. It was great. Like that idea. Was the mission that was the best. That was the one mission that I felt like top to bottom was thematically fun, was like had good gameplay, and like it was still a mission that we got a little stuck at one point because we were trying to figure out. I'm like looking around, and it's like, okay, how do we figure out who the hell this guy is? And we eventually figured it out, but like that end was intense because like, you know, he's sitting there reading all these schematics, and like I had to get him into the train system, but like I'm the one in the field who has to physically do all this stuff. So he's just telling me everything to do. And I'm like, yo, like I need information. And he's like, okay, so if this is true, then you do this. I'm like, no, here's what I got. Boom, 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 boom. He's like, okay, so do this with this. And that's when the game like truly shines. And that's when the game is the most fun, when the mechanics flow. And then there's situations like we're infiltrating this base, and I'm on like this rope, and it's just slow, and it's plotting, and it's like I got to be real particular about like, oh, if you cut too close to this thing, it's going to automatically trigger, or as you're cutting, it's going to raise the temperature in this tunnel for some reason, like multiple degrees Celsius. And it's like, that's just a bullshit mechanic. So he has to constantly, I had to be like, okay, reset the temperature every time okay, reset the temperature. And it's just like this really boring thing. And like, it should be cool, but it's really boring. There's no intensity to it, you know?
It just feels like, oh, we're doing this A, B, C.
Yeah, it's just this really mundane thing. And it's like, okay, this isn't fun. This is just like, I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the difficult part with stuff like that, is figuring out the mechanics that are interesting, yet like keep that balance. Like, I don't know. Like that's at least in the game I'm trying to make. It's like, that's the hardest part, is trying to figure out how to make not mini games, but like activities feel immersive, but fun, but also feel like they fit in the universe and not like breaking something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like with like a lot of the like I really like these divergent co-op games where everybody kind of has a different perspective. I think my big thing is, if you're going to make something like that, you need to make sure that, you know, mechanically, like you're not doing mundane stuff. Like you have to make like it can be mundane for one, but not for both. And, you know, the thing is like when there's an intensity, when you put like, not everything needs to have a timer on it, because again, we did the We Were Here games, and like rarely do they ever put like time pressure on you. And they do sometimes. And that was like in the first game. Tony, you remember the stage and we had to send out the props?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's this like creepy like mannequin thing, and every like minute or so it gets closer and the room gets darker, and it gets closer and the room gets darker. And like there's this play going on, and the announcer is telling you like what you need to do. And like you don't see the stage, so you're in the back trying to set this stuff up, and you're sending it out, and he's like, yo, no, you gotta reverse these two things, or this thing needs to be back there instead, or like you know shift everything over one, you know, something like that. And so like you're relying on your partner to tell you all the while your partner is getting ready to get killed. And like, you know, they're just like, yo, this thing is right here. We got to go. Like there's that intensity. And like, it's nice to have those breaks in the action in between. And the best games in this kind of genre balance that really well, where they give you kind of these low stakes puzzles that require a lot more thought. And like when you finish with them, you feel good about figuring it out. And then there's these high stakes puzzles that like really kind of push your sense of urgency and you'll really make you kind of leave you on the edge of your seat. So when you finish, you're just relieved. You're like, oh my God, that was insane. Like they're the puzzles that you tell people about. Like, oh my God, you have to play this game. Like that third mission, you know, those are the ones that like you talk about. And then there's the ones in between that you really appreciate. And the problem with Operation Tango is, with the exception of that third mission, there's nothing like, none of those puzzles are like particularly memorable, except for when they either didn't work or were weirdly frustrating to interact with. Like that's the issue, is like
that's like the opposite of what you're trying to go for, I feel like.
Yeah.
So.
And like when they're too easy to fail, you know, and I'm not saying like you need to make the game like especially handholdy, but like in some cases, like they don't indicate a time limit and you don't understand the pressure because your partner doesn't, you and your partner are both learning these mechanics at the same time. And when the game doesn't properly communicate a sense of urgency, you're taking your time and you're trying to understand. And then all of a sudden you fail and you don't know why. So you go from solving the puzzle. Now the puzzle is figure out how we fail this. Then we can solve the puzzle once we understand how. So, and that is not the way these games should play, in my opinion. Like I don't want to learn how to fail it. I want to learn I want learning to succeed to be, the most important thing. And, for the sake of comparison, I think a game like We Were Here did a much better job of creating that, where we could take our time at first and figure it out. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, that thing's getting closer to me. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, it did it again. And we're like, oh shit, we got to go, and then that creates the urgency. That's not the game failing us. That's the game, like, letting us kind of play around. But then like, oh shit, like this is happening. You're like, oh fuck, I gotta go. That felt natural, that's like how that felt real, in the sense of like, that's how people figure this stuff out. I'm not looking around a room trying to figure out, okay, how can this go wrong?
You just see something slowly creeping up on you and you're like, God damn.
Like, I think that thing got closer, and you're like, really? I don't know, man. It looks about the same. And then like, a minute goes by and it's like, no, it definitely, I just watched it move. And it's like, oh shit, we gotta go. Like that's always the thing, we gotta go. That is the ultimate like sense of urgency. Like in any game, when you get to that point where it's like, oh, something bad is happening, it's like, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go. I don't know.
Sounds like a fun game though.
Yeah, like it's the We Were Here or Operation Tango.
Operation Tango. It sounds like a fun when it's working game.
Yeah, when it works, like that game might need a patch or two to kind of clean things up, and then maybe it gets, maybe it's a lot more fun. But like right now, it's a 3-hour game. It's $20, and your friends can play with you for free. So like, I might try and play it again with somebody else. Like Nat, if you ever want to play, I have the game and you can play it for free. I don't know if there's going to be that incentive for them to continually develop it. Like it feels like it's maybe a little open-ended where it's like they might add more. I worry sometimes with these friend pass games where it's like, do they really have the incentive to keep going? Like if this game doesn't, because, if I play this game with 4 other people and they don't ever buy the game, what's the incentive to keep developing it if I'm just going to keep sharing it with those 4 people,
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's a cool thing. I wonder how sustainable it is for a game like this. But I mean, we're getting our 4th We Were Here game this year, so it must be working somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that game doesn't have. We have to buy 2 copies of that game. So,
Oh, you're right. We do.
yeah.
Never
You
mind.
were here. It's not a friend.
That's why we have 4 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes me wonder if Operation Tango will take off. I mean, it's a fun game, and like so far we've done like 1 case, so it makes you wonder if they're gonna make more cases for us to do down the line. But it's a fun game when it works. Like we had a good rhythm going of until we got to those bugs, and then we just kind of dead stop crawl.
Yeah, and then
our
it's
way
just
through.
like the bugs just drain you, you know? When it's something you can't control, that just drains you in these games. And it just got to the point where like when we finished it, again, we were just relieved it was over, you know? It kind of at a certain point with those bugs, especially in that last mission, we had more bugs in that mission than we had the rest of the game. And it was just like between the hotel, I literally loaded into the last mission under the map.
Sheesh.
Like that was how that last mission started. I'm looking around. And he's like, "Hey, can you get to these stairs?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Why not?" I was like, "Cause I can look up and see into the rooms." I was like, "The floor is invisible. I'm under the map." And he is just like, "Oh." And he looks at my stream and he's like, "Holy shit, you are." I'm just like, "Yeah, this is crazy." And like, again, I couldn't fail. We had to restart. And every time you restart, it's a crapshoot because the game tells you it's going to save your progress. But at one point, we had to restart in the early part of that mission, and it started the whole mission over. And then another time, it let us pick up where we left off. So even that's not consistent. I don't know. Operation Tango is like a perfectly average game. It should be a lot more fun than it is, but it's also... like when it works properly, like it is a great time in spite of its quirks. So it's like it's hard to. I find I have a harder time telling people not to try it than I do telling people to try it. And I think the demo is still out there, so you could definitely try it and see if it's up your alley. But like, you know, I think about like, you know, we don't do the final saves anymore, but like, I think if I was going to write one for this game, I feel like I would definitely be more like, don't buy it. At least not yet. Cause it's just, it's too buggy to really recommend right now, even though like you can have a ton of fun playing it. Like if you're really into that, you can have a ton of fun playing it.
I like those type of games. I feel like that sounds like fun, but
yeah, I mean, if you ever want to play it, just hit me up. But otherwise, I think I've only really been... I'm trying to think if I've been playing anything else. Yeah, I mean, all I've really been playing otherwise this week is just like some older stuff. I've been playing a little more Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but I played, some Killing Floor 2 with the boys. I did play a little more Valheim this week for the first time in a while, and that was kind of fun to get back into. I also played Helldivers again, which continues to be a still really fun, odd game. I did play a little more Outriders. Did a little crossplay co-op with that, and crossplay co-op is a little rough, but it works. It works well enough that I would do it again, but not so well that it would it's not so good that I wouldn't notice I was doing it. You know what I mean? And then otherwise Destiny, another week. The story is still going crazy places. They're really kind of doubling down on this season of content really feels like it's been shaped by the last year of social, the last year of social injustice. It's very much this story of, hey, here's these, here's this group of aliens, and everybody's like, oh, they're here to kill us, and they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that, and they're just like, we've never actually had any problems with you people. We literally have never raised arms against humanity. We are trying to help you. We're only here to help you. That's the only reason you asked us to be here, and then, they get attacked in their camp at night, and they're just like, hey, the people are just like, well, I mean, how can the people forget? Like, you know, you fucking killed a lot of us. And the guy's like, we did not do that. I know you're stirring these people up, but I'm still going to help you because I want to prove I'm not the monster you people think I am, you know? And then there was this great cutscene today. I was so happy I finally got to see it. You got to see it, Tony. It's just like Mithrax starts telling this story about like this guardian who just showed up, and he's like, whether they were innocent or not, this guy was just taking these elixir and he's just murdering them. And every time he died, he came back and killed them again. And he just kept like ravaging us. And he was like, that person was known as the Saint. And so it's this cutscene about this guy, Saint 14, who we saved last year. And he's now like this, he's the considered the greatest Titan who ever lived. And now we're seeing, you know, he told his story and he was very much like, you know, oh, the Fallen, they kill our children and they do this and they do that. And that's how his story started. And he's like, you know, I don't know how I can go on. Like the Fallen, they've taken everything we are and they've destroyed it. And now we're seeing the story from their perspective of here's this big bad guy that they can't kill. And he just keeps coming back and destroying everything they hold dear. And it's flipping the story kind of on its head in a way that like I'm real excited about, because like I'm still happy, like me as a guardian, I'm like, yeah, no, this is dope, but I'm like, yo, like we're fucking monsters to these people, because he's like Saint is literally talking to this guy. He's like, how can the people live knowing that they're monsters or are living in the city with them? And he's like, we look at our monster every single day, and yet we have not done anything to you since we've been here except help. He's like, tell that to my people who have watched you kill their children, their friends, their family. And he's just like, we have done nothing to you, and you have done so much to us. We haven't lifted a finger to harm you, and you have slaughtered so many of my people. He's just like, tell my people to be okay waking up and seeing their monster every day. And I love it. I love it.
Spitting bars.
It is, this storytelling that they're doing this season is incredible. And it feels true to life in the sense that it touches on a lot of like real subjects. Like this is definitely like a political statement kind of season. But Bungie has not shied away at any point, from their statement that, the Bungie has been very like pro, like Black Lives Matter, very pro, like, stop Asian hate, things like that. So Bungie is not afraid to make a statement of like, yo, treat people right, and they're not worried about making like a wishy-washy statement. Like they're not worried. Like as far as Bungie's concerned, if you're looking at like the story this season and you think it's too political and you think it's bad, they don't want you. I think is the point they're getting at, is like, they don't want you. If you're playing the story this season, you're like, man, this is pandering to blah, blah, blah. And like, blah, blah, blah. You don't probably belong in this community. That's not the community Bungie wants, and I think it's in a world of, our game isn't political. I think it's cool that they're not just being political, that they're just taking it head on. And they're just like, let's just make a season about it. Let's make a 3 months of content about this just to get our point across, And they're doing it in a way that doesn't feel cheap. They're doing it in a way that feels like it fits the lore. It fits the world building that they're trying to do. None of it feels cheap and like shoehorned in for the sake of a statement. It all feels like really worthwhile. And I love it. It is some of the best storytelling they've ever done. And I cannot wait. Each week, I'm just like, yo, what are they going to do next? And I still hate Lakshmi too, and I want to put a bullet in her brain. In her stupid robot brain. Lakshmi too sucks. She sucks real bad.
I'm doing that, but I don't even know the point of reference for that.
She leads the Future War Cult, and she's basically like the Alex Jones of the Destiny universe. That's his name, right? That stupid white supremacist guy who has like a radio show. Isn't that his name? Yeah, she's basically him for Destiny.
Okay.
And she's like, in one word, in one phrase, she's just like, I will personally help the Elixni. I will help the Fallen get their supplies whenever they want to leave our city. I'm happy to help them leave. And then in the next, she's like, do you know these people are going to kill you? They're going to wait till you're asleep. And they're going to steal your children. That's what she does. She tries to kind of play the neutral game, and she's like, you have to understand our people. They're scared. They're scared. And then the next thing, she's riling them up like, if you don't kill them, they'll kill you. Yeah. And that's why she sucks, and I hope she dies. She's a fictional character. I can say that.
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
You don't need to say anything. I just need to get that off my chest. She sucks. And I hope at the end of this season, she's either in jail
There's a very brutal quote from Cameron album back in the day. And I'm pretty sure he says it also in Paid in Full. He says, explicitive die every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't feel bad about the ones you hate. You know what I mean? People die every day. So,
I'm just saying, the Destiny world would be a better place if Lakshmi 2 wasn't in it. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say.
What if the next mission just cold open kill and it's just like an assassination mission?
She's going to get some of them killed. And like the thing is like we talked to like one of the Vanguard people, like Cora, and she's just like, it's about time I had a conversation with Lakshmi. And it's like, you should have done this weeks ago. Where the hell have you been? Like, this isn't new. Take her out. And she's just like, oh, I use the Vex and I see she has like I don't remember her voice actress, but she's just like, I use the Vex. I see the future, and there's going to be a conflict and I need to stop it. I'm the only one who can stop it. And it's just like, I could stop it right now. Give her the old Aldrin Sov. You wouldn't get that, but it's okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just give her the old Aldrin Sov and just like, this is going to hurt.
Hell's your sister.
This is the part where you ask me about my sister. Bang. She doesn't have a ghost. She's not coming back. But yeah, that's enough about my stuff. What have you guys been playing?
I've been playing some Slay the Spire. Got another win right before we started podcasting.
Nice.
That game is great. I wanted to start playing Griftlands again. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, was there like an update to that recently? Because like I feel like I've seen a lot more people playing that lately.
I think it may have got like a 1.0 release or something. I don't know.
No, it's been 1.0 for a while.
Griftlands?
Oh, I meant Slay the Spire.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because I've seen even some streamers I watch have been playing that lately,
Slay
and I'm just like, huh.
Just a fucking good game. It's just a good classic game, and it's like hard, but it's not like false difficulty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a hard fucking game, and sometimes what's the worst? When you die to a boss, like you work so hard to get to a boss, and you die, and you know where you fucked up. And you're like, man, if I played these cards in this order or something, I could have won. And you know where you fucked up. It's just about like figuring out how to optimize it and stuff. It's a great game. I fucking love Slay the Spire.
Maybe it's because Griftlands. Maybe Griftlands like I think Griftlands is kind of like Slay the Spire.
Griftlands is like Slay the Spire, but it has like a conversation. So like there's like 3 layers. There's like a combat system, a conversation system, so like you can like argue with people and debate, and then there's like the overworld where you select what you're doing. I love Griftlands. I haven't played it as much because I was waiting for it to fully release, and now it's fully released like a little while ago. But yeah, Griftlands is fucking good. Like Griftlands is also hard as fuck. I wanted to play some more, but I need to just figure out when I'm playing some. I should have just had it on in the background, but I didn't think of that. And also the Nick game is on. But yeah, what else did I play this week? I mean, we played some Divinity yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We progressed.
Back to that new island.
We did. We moved on to new and better
Ross
islands.
is blind.
And Ross
He is permanently blind. Yep. It's no way we're gonna fix that. So I guess he's gonna play like that now.
There has to be a way to fix it.
There's probably a way.
There's got to be. We got to get him a new eye.
Yeah, I think it's because he went to the shrine of the wrong god.
Eyes.
Oh yeah, I sold some eyes actually just before we went to this island.
You think he could just pop that in and it'd be okay?
Maybe.
It's just like use eye, and he's just like, "Hey,
I'm back, baby!
I'm back, baby!
I can see clearly now.
My eye is back."
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, we're grooving though. Like we're taking fights really well now too. Like even when we're kind of like not prepared, we're still cleaning house. We're doing a good job. We had a couple tough ones last night where we had some debt, but like that's the thing is like one of us going down isn't a big deal anymore. Because like, you know, and I don't say this in any negative way to you, Nat, but like unfortunately in that one fight you got picked off, and the nice thing is now that I'm doing more damage. You know, not having you on the field doesn't mean, oh shit, now we can't kill anything anymore. I'm not killing them as quickly as you are, but I can still get in there and deal a bunch of damage, you know? So it's not like, you know, Nat's not on the field, so we need to do everything we can to get him back up right now or nothing's going to die. It's like, okay, Chris can be over here doing this stuff, stabby people in the kidneys and rupturing their tendies while, you know, Cypher's going around getting out of the fight. You know, Ross is still standing in the middle, completely blind, and he's just like, it's hot out here.
Feels like I'm on fire, but I don't know. I'm blind.
Where did Tony go? Did he do this?
You guys ever seen Hustle and Flow?
No, I haven't.
No.
Long story less long, there's a song in Hustle and Flow. It's like, it's hard out here for a pimp. I imagine Ross.
I know that song.
I know that song.
I know that song, yes.
Yeah, because that song won a Grammy, actually.
I know. That's how I know it.
Yeah. But long story less long, it's like that, but instead of pimp, it's tank.
Or dwarf.
You know,
yeah. You
whatever
know,
he wants.
Out here for a tank.
You know, and then you do something about like, you know, taking all this DP to keep your team alive or something.
Yeah.
That like 5 years ago, even that would have been a viral hit. Like,
oh yeah. I always had an idea and I could never do it, but I wanted to write a track based on Hotline Bling. I wanted to make a League of Legends track, Bot Lane Ping. And it was going to be a jungler song and it was going to be really good. I had lyrics and everything and I just needed someone to perform it.
Yeah, back in the days where everyone parodied
not
songs.
This Tony. Why didn't you get Tony to do it?
I know. I tried and he wasn't interested.
His thing, man.
I was going to write, it was going to be a hit. It was gonna go viral. I'm telling you, I had it. It was just like, ever since I left the jungle, you.
I mean, I've heard way worse and seen way worse League of Legends content going viral. That is also another game I'm just
saying it would have been good, but I also just don't care. Like I wasn't even playing League at the time. I just heard that and I was just like, oh my god, all of my experience from League has prepared me for this moment.
I feel that. What else have I playing this week? Oh, I played some GTA 5. That game is fucking good. Apparently, all the stuff they did for the multiplayer.
I bought that on Steam, by the way, just so I didn't have to install their stupid thing.
Yeah,
and I got it with like the shark
it
card.
Still need you to install it, unfortunately.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think it still launches.
I still need the social card. Well, whatever. I bought it and it came with like some fucking GTA bucks.
Yeah, because all the in-game like friend stuff is through Social Club.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure out, you know, the logistics. We're actually doing so for Operation Tango. We recorded the first mission and Tony recorded his perspective and I recorded mine. So we're actually kind of experimenting with that for a video going up this week. It should be up probably Friday. And hopefully, you know, I'm trusting my video man here. That is going to kind of let us know how, you know, what we're going to have to do. That's going to educate us for what we have to do for our GTA stuff. You know, whether we make it like a bunch of like picture-in-picture stuff. Like what we're thinking of doing is like, you know, like my thing is up and then he's in like a small picture-in-picture window. And then like if he's doing something crazy and I'm not, you know, expanding that and kind of swapping the scenes a bit. So you can always see what everyone's doing, but maybe like, put the emphasis on the people who are, you know, kind of in the most action at the moment. So we'll see how that comes out, and I think that's going to be a lot of like what we're going to have to do for that GTA series we talked about, the half-gen heists.
Yeah, I think the picture-in-picture thing would work if it was just 2 people, but I think the heists are, 4 people? That might be a little more difficult.
What I was thinking for that, actually, I was just thinking, so what if we did like the main screen, and then on the side, like on the right, we had like the other 3 kind of stacked in a smaller picture-in-picture thing. So like they're kind of like the right border, and then like you just kind of transition them in to kind of be the big screen when we need it.
Yeah, I could probably do something.
I don't know how that. You're going to be, obviously it all depends on logistics of what it takes for you to do that, because like I can come up with a million ideas in the world, but you're the one who's actually going to be putting it together. So, I
think that
whatever you need to do,
just mess with some of the aspect ratios, like kind of cut some of the videos down border wise. I think that could work in theory.
Like kind of like I imagine like only the video people, but like the people on the stream will see this, but I won't. But like if you're looking at the stream, we do record this live, twitch.tv/nightmarecv every Wednesday. Kind of like how I am stacked on top of Nat right now, and then just imagine that like Tony's thing was like way bigger and ours was smaller. But just kind of something like that. And then like, if I'm the focal point now, then you swap me in over him, and then now that's kind of how that goes. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I imagine. Like it was almost like we'd be picture in picture, like the size of this box right here. This isn't going to play on either version of the podcast if you're not watching the stream, but we're talking shop at this point. But I'm sorry, you were talking about playing GTA 5. I don't want to derail this.
Oh no, good. GTA 5 is a good game. It's crazy to think that game is 8 or 9 years old now and plays as good as it does, and Cyberpunk still doesn't work.
Yeah, it's getting a PS5 release soon. I don't remember when.
I mean,
exactly.
It's
November.
It's fucking crazy because like they've added like more like wildlife, just like the little stuff. So like streets are more populated. Like you feel like GTA was populated before, but like they're like more streets. They like messed with like the FOV in the game. Like on PC, it looks like crazier. Like they upgraded a bunch of textures. The city feels more alive, and the missions are what they are. But like little things with the missions, they've kind of upgraded and stuff, and it just feels like a way better game. It plays super fucking good. And I mean, and I understand some people don't like the way GTA plays, but that game is fucking good.
I still think it's funny. Like they've got those memes going around now, like what I played as a kid. And, it would be like, Final Fantasy VII, the original. And it's like what kids are playing today. And it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake. But now the meme is what I played as a kid, GTA 5. What the kids are playing today, GTA 5.
Yeah, they're never making another game.
They will. I think they will eventually. But like GTA 5, I think, is going to go a solid 10 years before they even talk about a new one. Like they're going to let this. 8. They're going to let this one.
How long has it been since Red Dead?
Red Dead was 20. Was that 18 or 19?
Well,
but they're going to let GTA go 10 years before they even talk about a new one. I think they need to add Liberty City. I think that's the big thing. Is like
I'm pretty
double
sure
the size of it.
At least from their casting and stuff, I'm pretty sure it's Vice City.
No, but I mean like adding it to GTA 5, like GTA Online. I think what they should do is they should redo, because it's technically the same engine. It's just much improved. I think they should do the work and make Liberty City fully realized and then double the size of GTA Online.
I think they
not
might
technically double,
do
but
that, but not with Liberty City, with whatever.
So you think they're going to just make Vice City?
New map. Yeah.
I think eventually, if you're going to keep GTA Online going, I think you do both eventually.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that this engine they made has been going for 3 generations and it still like looks and runs really well. Like, this was an engine built for a PS3 and a 360 that, you know, ran fine for GTA 4, but ran even better for GTA 5, runs even better on the last gen consoles, and is going to run even better on the current gen consoles. And forget about it on a capable PC. You're going to run circles around it, but the game still looks great. You can still mod it to hell and make it look like realistic.
Without mods, it looked fucking like really big. Like just with ray tracing enabled, it looked so fucking.
Wait, it
big.
has ray tracing?
Yes.
What? When did they add
It
that?
has ray tracing.
Wait, what? When did that happen?
It has ray tracing.
I think, did they add ray tracing to No Man's Sky? I know they had a DLSS. I know they were talking about it. Did they add that to No Man's Sky?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Only reason because the shadows look completely different because it was bugging me out, and I have like an old YouTube video on YouTube, obviously, of me and JP running around GTA Online throwing sticky bombs at people, and those shadows and stuff look completely fucking different, and I'm like, holy shit.
No, I can't imagine the the public lobbies of GTA 5 nowadays. Like,
I don't think I would do a public lobby anymore.
They added so many destructive things to the game. Like, it's probably like insane.
Nah, because like for the most part, it's fine because they have dunce servers. Like they have servers, like they have tiered servers. Like you're good if you go around killing people, they move you to like a more war torn thing. And then if you're like shooting people and stuff, it's like a different server tier. So there's like the people just doing their missions, and there's the tier of people who shooting people and stuff, and then there's the tier below that, which is guys who get jets and tanks and throw sticky bombs everywhere. Because that's how we came up with that video. Was I got sent to the dunce server because somebody stole my car and then threw it in a river. So we got in this like big war where I kept going and finding his car, stealing it, throwing it in the river and stuff. And then I waited till he stole my car and he tried to drive off, and I blew it up. And with the sticky bomb, like boom. I didn't even think my car. I stole his car and he thought it was fine. I let him steal it back, and then I blew it up. And then I got sent to the dunce server, and then it was like, holy shit, this is anarchy. So it was sticky bomb time, and I spent mad money on sticky bombs. And I'm like pretty good with them, admittedly. Like I know the perfect arc and everything for them shits, so I was just throwing them everywhere.
I have one clip from when GTA 5 came out, and I was playing it on stream. I think it might have been with Tony. I don't remember if you had it yet, but I had this like purple.
GTA 5 when it first came
I
out.
had this purple, like it was like what's the car? It was in like Midnight Club 3. You know, like the old school, like that Chevy. It was like I want to say LeBaron, but it's not the LeBaron. You know, like that 50s car that was in Midnight Club. Well, it was like this old school looking car, and I decked it out. Like I had like this nice like glossy purple. I had gold rims. It was great. I had the GTA 4 horn. I had this car and I left it somewhere, and I didn't know you could make it so that people who weren't your friends couldn't get in your cars. So I left this car somewhere. This dude comes driving like a bat out of hell. I see this car barrel roll. He gets out and runs away. I'm like, wait a minute. That's my car. And I go up to it, and it's my fucking car. I'm like, this is my car. What did he do? It's beat to hell. It's like, it's got like 3 tires left. You know, like one of them's out. And I'm just like, what the fuck? This is my car. And it was fucking hilarious. It just comes onto my screen, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I immediately changed that setting, and then
I got quiet because I thought Julius got ejected, but he didn't.
Oh,
watching the so mad.
Is it the Knicks again, or
the Knicks?
Yeah,
that's the only team I really care about, to be honest.
No, fair enough. But yeah, that was like that was like one of the funniest things that happened to me in GTA Online. And then like I kind of fell off of it for a while. But I'm feeling like I'm at the point where I could be convinced to go back to it and try it again.
The heists.
I'd be down to do the heists.
The heists are cool.
Yeah, the heists were fun. The ones that I did.
That's what I want, is like that. I like that kind of stuff, you know, the stuff that kind of feels like, you know, a raid or something like that.
And
yeah, like the newer heists definitely feel like a raid. Like there's so much planning and stuff to go into those. It's pretty insane. Like pick a date. We'll definitely play it again because I've been wanting to play it again.
I'm gonna have to start playing it again just to kind of get used to it, because I don't want to get on and then just do the heist, because I'm not gonna be ready. You know, I gotta.
That's
just
why I
start
started playing
the
through
game
the story. So I was like, I'm gonna play through the story, get used to it, and then I might play online for a little bit and figure it out. I gotta figure out if I could bring my PS4 character over. I don't know if they're gonna let me. So.
I think I was able to.
But that was like forever ago. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying something.
Yeah, they did have a
weren't able
transfer
to.
something like a long time ago, but I don't remember.
Should check. I logged in the social club the other day.
I don't think I remember my login information for social club.
I don't.
If you logged in with any of your consoles, you could log into the social club with your console login for either Xbox or PlayStation.
I don't remember my
I've used
console
both
login.
of those.
I don't remember.
I
my
remember
PlayStation.
both of those because I'm still.
I haven't touched my
actively using them.
PlayStation in like forever. I don't remember the last time I touched it. Was that everything you've been playing at?
I think I played one thing else, but I can't. Oh, I played some City Skylines. City Skylines is.
Does that have multiplayer yet?
Nope.
God, if only.
If only. I would like a city builder game that's multiplayer.
Yep. I would like a Parkitect, but a city builder. We should play more Parkitect at some point, though. That park is making too much money to just let it sit. We got to start. We got to start getting crazy.
I'm about to get crazy in here with the roller coasters.
We're gonna expand the monorail.
Oh boy,
it's gonna grow.
The monorail is the most successful ride.
Everyone is riding the monorail, and now that the
monorail, they weren't even going anywhere. They were just getting on it and riding it.
Now that the
monorail
monorail
stop set up right.
Now that the monorail actually ends at El Toro, people can get off and maybe go ride that too. Fucking ride El Toro, you pieces of shit.
The problem is you don't just simply play what you call it.
You're right. You don't play a little bit of Parkitect. You play Parkitect for the day. There's no such thing as just an hour of Parkitect.
Mm-hmm.
It's oh my god, why is it
Parkitect life?
It's like, oh, we'll start at 4 p.m. How did it become 4 a.m.? When did that happen? I'm still working on this path. How did that happen? This is the same path I've been working on. What happened to 12 hours? You look back, the path is like 8 times as long as it was. You've packed it with rides, and it's just like, where did all the time go?
Did I do that?
I don't remember doing all that. Every time we play that, our park grows by like 20%. Mm-hmm. And then we build another fucking Neon City. We build another cyberpunk ride, just with a different aesthetic.
I'm on Rockstar's website, and it's just funny to think that they have a bunch of games on here that I'm pretty sure never came out.
Well, like
they
Agent?
have Agent on here,
yep.
And it's never came out. Like,
no.
It says games, and it's like, does that even count?
It's not even real.
Yo,
real. What if Agent came out? What if Sony it like has a state of play?
It says platform PS3.
Yep.
Release date to be announced, and it's fucking 2021.
Like what if Sony comes out like this year with a state of play, and they're just like, yo, Agent is coming out at the end of the year.
Yo, we got Agent, we got Midnight Club coming back at you.
Midnight Club is back, bitches.
Yeah, it'd be nice
Midnight
to have
Club,
a contender
Toronto.
to Need for Speed, or yeah.
We built fuck the crew. We built the U.S. and now you could street race on it. Mm-hmm. Midnight Club America.
Midnight Club in the GTA 5 engine.
Midnight Club 3, it was Atlanta, it was Detroit, and it was New York, right? And then they did Midnight Club LA,
mm-hmm.
which was probably
Midnight Club 3?
A setup. Midnight Club LA was probably a setup for GTA 5. I would have to imagine if you were going to do another Midnight Club in like another city, you'd do like Midnight Club Miami or like.
I don't remember. I had the Dub Edition remix that I think I had Tokyo in it.
Did they add Tokyo to that? Well, Tokyo was a Midnight Club
Edition, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. I can't even remember where that was.
I had Midnight Club Dub Edition, or Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition remix.
Dub Edition remix, I think, just had new music. It was Dub Edition, but with new music. I don't
Maybe.
think
I don't
they
think
added
Midnight
anything.
Club was an actual.
I never had the
3
regular
was the
dub edition,
actual
so I had
city.
the remix.
No, 3
I-
was a city. It was New York, Detroit, and Atlanta. I'm almost positive. I'm almost 100% certain on that. Because I remember I had my Neon in New York, my Dodge Neon, and then I brought it to Atlanta. I took it almost all the way through Atlanta, and then I got to Detroit and I couldn't use it anymore because everyone was running supercars. I had that fucking PSP. Took like fucking 40 seconds between loads. Love that game. I want to put it on a PSP emulator just to play it again. That version. That's a mistake. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, in dub edition remix, they added 24 new vehicles and Tokyo. They brought Tokyo back
Oh shit!
in
All right,
remix. Yeah, Tokyo was in 2, but then they brought it back in remix.
that's dope. I wish that came to PC because then I could play it like in a
if only.
reasonable format. Midnight Club 2 was on PC. It got relisted on Steam a couple months ago.
Wait, it's on Steam?
It was. So like here's the thing, it got delisted and then for some reason it was available again. It's not anymore. But it was on Steam. 3 I
would have
think
bought
was.
that if I knew it was on Steam.
Yeah, I know. I forgot to buy it at the time and I regret it. The fuck is these games?
I can't imagine how that runs nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of like old games that they brought back.
Single core processor games.
Yeah, they don't run
because they were optimized for a PlayStation 2.
The GTA 5
Yeah.
coming out in November is enhanced. That it's like rebuilt on top of Red Dead's like updated engine.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't realize that.
I wonder if they're gonna.
So it's gonna look better. Is
Yeah.
What's fucking.
And
crazy.
I wonder if that's gonna translate to PC in any way, or if PC like already has those
I assume
optimizations.
so. Everything is like translating so far. At least they bring to online, so I don't see why that wouldn't. But
maybe that's when we'll play it. Oh. No, wait, November. No, that's when the
That's
DLC
when
for
Endwalker. Oh yeah,
Endwalker
I've been
comes
playing
out.
Final Fantasy 14. I was just playing Final Fantasy 14.
literally just before this stream, and he forgot about it.
Just before this podcast.
Just before this podcast.
I was playing Final Fantasy 14 and I didn't talk about it. I'm still stuck in the A Realm Reborn like ending quests, like pre Heaven's Ward, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Man, I speed run that story so fast. I just blazed through that.
It really sucks, and I hate it. And I wish I didn't have to do it.
Man, with the little moolah, you don't have to do it.
I'm too far. I'm not spending money at this point. I have to get through it. What have you been playing, Tony?
I've started playing Earth Defense Force World Brothers.
What is that?
It's that voxel based Earth Defense
Oh.
Force. I don't know if you've seen that.
All
Yeah,
about?
it's like
I think I've heard of it, but I hadn't really looked at it yet.
it's in like a voxel world, and they've brought like character from every Earth Defense Force into it. It's a nice little spin-off until Earth Defense Force 6 comes out. I've been enjoying it. It's pretty fun.
Is Earth Defense Force 6 actually going to be different, or is it going to be the same as all the other games?
It's
but
supposed
just,
to
like,
be
shinier.
a sequel, I believe, to 5. Because I don't remember if 5 was its own game. I don't know. They did like so many remakes and just renaming it, and I don't remember.
The last
But
one I played, I think,
believe-
was 4.1.
Yeah, I think 4.1 is a remake.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the last time I shouted EDF at the top of my lungs.
I mean, Earth Defense Force is fun. It's if you just like mindlessly blowing the shit out of everything up.
I do like that in most scenarios. I do.
Yes. Blowing everything up, giant bugs, aliens.
And yelling EDF. at the
And
top of my
yelling
lungs.
EDF.
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 Can
You
do that
cannot
in voxel.
transfer characters anymore. I don't think you can.
That's a
transfer.
damn shame.
No, I don't
They
think
might bring it back out for PS5, but I know
Would
they
hope
shut
so.
it down.
Well, I mean, I think those characters are just going to carry over like by default. I don't think you'd have to transfer.
Well,
in that
no, so like
scenario.
they used to have a thing because I played GTA 5 on 360, and then I transferred it over to PS4 when PS4 came out, and I got it for that. And I think there was until 2017 you could still transfer your character from the PS4 or like any previous one to the PC version when that launched, but they took it down because people were bringing characters over from PS3 and 360 because it was easier to mod accounts and like spoof stuff on those versions, so they shut that down because of that. Apparently, so yeah.
Can't have nice things. Somebody always has
in this
to ruin
crazy
it.
world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a lot of money on my character on like the PS4 version, which is why
Probably have like a couple million or something. I don't know.
I definitely like my total earned was 4 million in the game total, but like I think I had like 30,000 on my character.
God,
But
there's
like
people
I had a
with
bunch
like
of cars and shit.
$1 billion.
I know other Tony, friend of the site, Tony got banned because he spoofed money. So he gave himself millions and millions of dollars, bought a lot of stuff, and then they like took all of his money away and they like banned him from like public lobbies. And then they didn't take the stuff he bought with the money. So he's just like, yeah, I've still got all the cars and everything.
Sheesh. Yeah, because I had a bunch of cars. I had like an Albany Alpha, an Ocelot.
I think the only car I have right now that I care about
custom.
I have a Bullet, like the GT, the Ford GT kind of equivalent, and I like that car. And it's just so slow by comparison now. That was always one of my favorite cars. I think with the version of the game I bought, it comes with the Banshee, so I'll probably drive that.
I had
Banshee's
like the armored truck. I had that. I had the Grotti Turismo R. I had a bunch of just like random cars that I like pimped up.
I think I remember I mostly just drove like the
I also had the like armored Evo,
Zentorno?
whatever it is, the Karen Kumra or whatever.
Oh,
yeah, I have that one too.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It was like
a bunch of cars.
A Lamborghini or something equivalent.
Well, the Lamborghini equivalent was like the Infernus, I think.
Yeah.
The Zentoro was like a Pagani kind of thing.
I had a bunch of cars, and that's what I more care about than anything. The money is whatever it is. I just wanted my cars.
I remember I had a Challenger equivalent. I decked that thing out. I had a Mustang equivalent.
Bravado Buffalo.
Yeah, I had a Mustang, whatever the heck that equivalent was. Like, wasn't it like the Bison or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Buffalo. It's the Buffalo.
Oh, it's the
Buffalo. They have
Buffalo?
another car.
I thought the Buffalo. Okay, so what was the Charger then?
The
Charger's
Challenger. The Buffalo. The Charger's the Buffalo.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the Mustang.
The Mustang is something else. I'll tell you right now because I'm looking at all the cars right now that are in the game. Give me 2 seconds. There are a fucking lot of cars in this game.
You're right. Isn't the Batmobile in that game somehow? Or like a Batmobile type thing?
They released like I think they released like the old Batmobile and the new Batmobile.
Yeah, they have like spy cars that fly.
Not 1-to-1, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've done some crazy stuff with the cars. They got like ramp cars. They got
it's because I'm
cars that can sprout wings and fly. Cars that turn into boats. It's crazy.
I remember one time we rode a helicopter.
I'm not even looking at all of them because there's too many.
We rode a helicopter to the middle of the ocean just so we could land in it and try and find a shark. And then we couldn't, so we had to swim all the way back to shore because they crashed the helicopter into the ocean. And so we spent an hour swimming to shore.
Why didn't y'all just drown yourself?
We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to do that.
Sidebar, when that game first came out, I had like a really popular video because I had my HD PVR going and everything. and I uploaded a video of me biking from one end of GTA to the other end, and it had like a good amount of views.
Nice.
You know, the stuff you do when you're bored. I actually think it wasn't even that long. I think it went pretty fast, all things considered.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people don't want to do, but they want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see how
Muscle.
long it
Here we
takes and what
go.
it looks like.
The Vapid Dominator is
The Dominator.
is the Mustang.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's apparently they have Sport and they have like the Buffalo in Sport, but then they also have Muscle. And I just didn't think to look for Muscle just now. That's why it took me so long to find it. Yeah, I had a Vapid Blade. I fucking love that car. I don't know why it's not showing that on my garage. Maybe
Yeah, I
something.
think the Vapid Bullet is what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that car. It handles well, even if it's not super fast. Everybody likes to drive circles around me. I'm like, yo, I like my car. Fuck you. Still goes fast.
Fast like
some,
a bullet.
Got some nutso
Yeah,
cars.
I think a lot of the fucking cars they have on here.
I caught your bullet with my gun. Nope, he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think unless somebody was playing on my shit while I wasn't paying attention. These aren't the cars. Like I'm missing some cars.
I wouldn't be surprised if my account like got hacked or something and someone started playing my account. I don't know. I haven't touched that thing in like forever.
Yeah. At a certain point, it's like, do I just start fresh?
Right?
Yeah,
like
I feel you.
I've done like so much in it. I don't even know where I would be.
I'm like, man, I had so much shit in this fucking
I like
game.
so many cars, so much money, all the clothes and whatnot.
Yeah, I
all
just
these
want,
guns.
I just want my shit, you know. Oh man. But we should play. I'll get over this if I start playing again. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll get over my loss because I'll make one car and I'll fucking like it and then not care.
Yeah, I mean those highs still give you a lot of money, so
yeah.
All right, but then I know we were talking about GTA, but were you playing anything else, Tony?
I haven't played anything else. Let me see. No, not really. I'm still playing Scum a lot. Their recent patch, man, really fucked up the game.
Ooh, in what way?
So we have like generally a pretty big base. Like every time we're doing stuff in it, it lags like the hell. Like I would be rubber banding back to my position like 20 seconds ago. It gets pretty bad. And it's not even like a server thing. It happens like in a lot of other servers. And, yeah, they really screwed it up because they said they quote unquote like optimized it or something, but no, they really screwed that up.
Don't you just love the quote unquote optimizations?
Oh yeah, all those optimizations.
I feel that.
If it ain't broke, don't optimize it.
I just got an email notification, right? And it's kind of annoying because like New York City did like lottery digitally like recently, and I put some money in initially, and like I just keep winning small prizes enough to just keep playing the lottery, and it was like, oh, you won cash for life or whatever, and I was like, and it was like $2.
Is that $2 for life? Do you?
No, it was $2. Just $2.
Oh. Send you $2 every year.
Look, it says account balance $2.
Look at you go!
Oh shit! Look at them $2. That's like
real winter hours here.
Burgers, 2 of those little cheeseburgers from McDonald's or something. I don't remember. Are those $1? I don't think they're $1 anywhere, right?
The double cheeseburger is
like
$2.
Cheeseburgers, yeah.
It's funny. A double cheeseburger costs less now than the McDouble.
It's probably that.
Which the McDouble was the cheaper double cheeseburger because it has one less slice of cheese, but it now costs less than the double cheeseburger, or it costs more than the double cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's always weird like that. Like the bodega near me, like it was cheaper to DoorDash my sandwich through them because I have like this like promotion for the rest of the month, where as long as I order over $12, I could take $5 off. So if I just got the sandwich, it would have been $10 flat, but because I added the Sprite, it made it $9. So it's like, it was just kind of funny.
There's glitter on my microphone now. Fantastic.
You need to like change that shirt because you're gonna start getting glitter everywhere, and
It's already everywhere. There's no.
It's gonna be
cure.
rough to get it out of that chair,
There's
man.
no
That's
cure.
a cloth chair.
There's no cure for glitter. Destiny.
I know.
Yeah. So. God. So I mean, fuck it. We're on the topic of cars. You guys remember, like, what do you guys think of, like, the PS3 360 era of Need for Speed?
Carbon. A bunch of those games.
Didn't
they just fucking take a bunch of those games away digitally?
That's where we're going with this, but I'm just curious what your guys' opinion is.
Bad, actually.
Were there?
I know some people like Carbon, but I think for the most
Carbon
part,
was for PS2, wasn't it?
It was also 360, PS3. So Carbon is
Undercover,
the one.
I feel like it's like that series. Is the
I remember that came out.
Undercover sucked.
Undercover sucked.
Need for Speed Undercover was bad.
I mean, I'm thinking whatever the one is directly after Most Wanted. I know people still like that one.
Carbon.
Then after that,
Carbon came after the first Most Wanted. Then it was Carbon.
Wanted.
That was the one with the ridge.
Is the last one I really liked.
Yeah, Carbon was the one with like canyon battles.
Yeah, Carbon had the canyon battles with the drifting. Carbon was fine. Then they did like the shift games and stuff.
Oh, I fucking.
Then they did Undercover, which sucked. It was a buggy mess. Then that was Black Box again. So Carbon or Undercover was like the follow up to Carbon. And then
there's a game in between Carbon and Most Wanted. There's Pro Street, because I had Pro Street, and I actually didn't think Pro Street was bad.
I thought Pro Street.
I had Pro Street and I didn't like Pro Street.
Didn't Pro Street come after Carbon?
Maybe Pro Street was like a closed like festival. It was like
kind of what Forza was trying to do.
It was what Shift eventually became.
I actually didn't mind Pro Street because I had like good car customization and the driving felt better than Carbon. I feel like Carbon's drift mechanics were like really bad. But yeah, I didn't mind Pro Street, I should say.
Yeah, Carbon was 06, Pro Street was 07.
Okay. I didn't mind Pro Street.
Yeah, and then Pro Street ended up becoming Shift when they kept making those. So as of May 31st, Need for Speed Carbon, Undercover, Shift 2 Unleashed, and The Run are retired, which means their servers are going to be shut down by August, but the games are currently delisted from digital storefronts. So you cannot go out and buy a digital copy of Need for Speed Carbon on your Xbox 360. Like, these games are not backwards compatible for what it's worth. But it's still like this crazy thing of like, in a couple of years, it's going to be like these games never existed.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are the games that were really bad. I feel like not like unanimously people didn't like those games. You know what I mean? So I feel like their EA is probably trying to, forget that existed. Like, I feel like they kind of get by with whatever the Fast and Furious one is. I can't remember what it's called. There's one with like a red cover that came out before Heat that was like essentially them trying to make their Fast and Furious game. And then
Payback.
Payback, yeah.
Because I really wanted that game, and then that was like a disaster.
Mm-hmm. And before that, they had the Undercover game, which was really cringy acting. That was Need for Speed. Kind of ruined the game.
That was just titled Need for Speed. Yeah.
Yeah. The fucked up thing is the customization in that game is so fucking cool, and the driving isn't bad, but the cutscenes make that game unplayable. I bought that game. And the cutscenes for that game are like atrocious. It's like, yeah, man, we gotta go race our cars. Yeah. It's like
fucking yeah.
It's really cringy. But it sucks because they like paid the money to get like actual like car influencers that are like actually mean something in like the community, but then just like put them in like really bad scenarios. It's like kind of shitty.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I get it that those games like aren't great and like you can't, but like there's this like preservation aspect to it, and it's like when they were talking about taking the PS3 store offline, and it's this idea that these games won't be available, and like physical copies of these games are going to skyrocket now. And it's just like EA says like, oh, the player numbers are so small that it doesn't make sense to maintain, but it's like at a certain point, like if you're still selling these games, that means whatever licenses you have in place are in perpetuity, but it's like, how much is it really costing EA to keep these games available? A company that makes billions of dollars off of digital cards, how much does it really cost to make these games stay available? Like realistically, how much does it cost? Even if you take the servers down, like what is the harm in letting people buy these games as a single player only product?
Yeah, I don't understand why they would delist it. Like, why not?
Like,
just
why
let
not
them
make a bundle
run
of
it?
them for $30 and be like, hey, here's all these retired, Need for Speed games. Buy it for $30 and you get all these games, and their online functionality is gone, but you could still play them. $20, whatever. Because then you're still making something. You put them on a Steam sale, and it's like, oh, fucking Need for Speed. I'll buy that for $250. The online doesn't work. I don't fucking care. I just want to do a canyon race. I remember that.
Yeah, so like Vegas 2, it's still like listed, and I'm pretty sure that
they're going to
that
shut
game
down the
is
servers
gone.
for that, but it's like you'll still be able to play the single player version of that game.
I mean, people are just gonna make their Hamachi servers and their custom servers. Like that's what happens with all the games
and that's the thing. What's the harm in letting people do that? Like, there's probably money to be made for EA when you announce that these games are being retired. There's probably a chunk of people out there who are like, yo, Carbon.
That's what happens.
I used to love that game.
Underground, like original Underground 2. There's a bunch of people with like custom servers that you could get into and play.
Yeah, and people mod the shit out of those. They keep those games feeling fresh. Like, it's crazy. Like, I just don't get, like, I don't get what they gain by delisting these games, unless it's something, if it's a licensing issue or something like that, then at the very least they could say that. They, instead of being like, well, nobody's playing them. You guys aren't playing these fucking 12-year-old games, so fuck you, I guess. No, just if it's a licensing thing and it's like, hey, it doesn't make sense to spend X millions of dollars to relicense these tracks or these cars, then that's something. And then it's like, okay, listen, even a $1 billion company, I get it. If nobody's playing these games, it doesn't make sense. But if it's just like, hey, we just don't want to fucking deal with them anymore, then fuck you, sell the games. If it's just like, yeah, we don't want to redo the store page and tell people that like they're not online compatible anymore. And it's like, no, just do that. What does it matter? It's in the Steam. Like, Steam is the one selling it. What is the harm to EA in allowing the game to still be listed? Because it's one thing to take the servers down. Like, it's made me cope with the fact that someday I'm not going to be able to play with my Destiny 2 character anymore, because someday they're going to shut those servers down and I'm not going to be able to play Destiny anymore. And by that point, I probably won't be playing Destiny anyway. But it's like, there's going to be a day where this character that I've invested a chunk of my life into will no longer be accessible. And that's scary. The Master Chief is always going to be there. I can always play Halo. But like, these games are going away and they're taking them away. And like that's scary to me. Like, and maybe it just hits a little more home because like I played Need for Speed Carbon. I played Need for Speed Shift. And I'm like, oh my God, like nobody's going to be able to, nobody who wants to, show their kids 20 years from now, oh yeah, let me show you my favorite Need for Speed game. If I'm a crazy person who really likes Need for Speed Carbon, let me show you my favorite Need for Speed game. It's not there anymore. It's gone. I don't know if that just, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, they're gone.
I mean, I have no attachment to them because, yeah, I thought those games were bad. But I understand. My thing, I don't know. I think not letting them be bought is shitty, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm indifferent on it. Like I think it's a shitty practice to do, but I'm not as mad at them about that as like when because it like at least with that, if it's like you have the game, it's not stopping people from continuing to enjoy the game. It's
Right.
just it's for some reason different to me than like PlayStation shutting down their store, because it's like, no, now you're just fucking people over, because it's
Yeah.
like you have this remnant, this hardware that you can't even basically, like, you took away a bunch of the functionality of if you shut down the store. But
Yeah.
as far as not making the game available for purchase, it somehow, at least to me, doesn't feel as shitty. But it's like,
And then that's where
you know.
pirating steps in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that becomes the other
Mhm.
thing, is now all of a sudden everybody's going to find another way to get these games, where EA could have listed them for like pennies on the dollar and made something. Now people are just going to find a way to get them for free.
Mhm.
And like, what's going to be EA's defense? Don't steal our game. Why not? You don't sell it. Like that's exactly like the kind of case that, like, at that point, is it piracy?
Mhm.
You know? Or is it just, hey, I want to play this game and it's not available any other way? This is the only way I can obtain this game. I don't think just because it's delisted, it doesn't, you know, it does still exist, you know? So why not? As far as I'm concerned, why not? Do what you can. Get it. But that's just me. I'm just some guy. I'm not EA. But I really don't think it costs them a ton of money to keep those games listed, even if they shut down the servers for them. Frankly, I'm amazed the servers were still up. It's EA.
Yeah, those
I'm
games
amazed
are,
I was
they were
saying,
still
up.
up.
I'm surprised
Not
those are up.
only I'm surprised they're up, is like, it's those games are like the bad ones. Like that's like the patch where
Like,
they couldn't figure
Carbon
it
is
out.
15 years old. That game still had servers. Madden from 2 years ago doesn't have servers.
Well, you know what it is? I don't know. Like it's weird because I think a lot of those games had like mobile, like that was like the beginning of like iPhones and stuff,
Yeah.
and they had a bunch of like mobile ports. So I don't know what capacity they still had servers.
Not
Like
Carbon.
Carbon has a mobile game.
Does it?
Mhm.
The iPhone didn't exist till 2008.
I think they brought out a Need for Speed
Okay.
Carbon mobile game later.
Well, regardless, I don't know. It's crazy to me. Like, it's just like at one point I'm amazed just because, like, wow, this still exists. That's crazy. But on the other hand, it's like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
there's
like,
a Need for Speed Carbon mobile game. It's on Android and iOS. So
did it cost money or is it free?
I'm pretty sure it cost money. I'm pretty sure it was like $5 or something. I remember because I downloaded
like the
it
full
to see
game?
what it was. I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, it was like a full game.
Man, imagine the hardware back then. You can run on a phone now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy.
Because I remember I had hacked my phone and I had downloaded it and I was playing it for a little bit on my phone, and I was like, this game's still bad, and I deleted it.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh shit. All right. Last two things I want to talk about are kind of like intertwined with each other. So Doom Eternal is getting RTX and DLSS support. So it's getting ray tracing and DLSS, which I feel like Doom Eternal, a game that already looks really good and runs extremely well for how good it looks, I think adding those two things is basically like, it just evens everything out. So you're just canceling out the added like performance requirements. Like you're basically canceling out the frame rate loss of adding ray tracing by adding DLSS, which is really cool. And that's going to be the thing that finally gets me to play Doom Eternal again. Mm-hmm. Apparently Rainbow Six Siege is also getting it.
That game is still thriving, has a thriving multiplayer community, so it makes sense.
I know, no, and I get why, but like, I don't get why. Like, who's gonna turn on ray tracing in Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
And who needs
You'd be surprised.
DLSS in Rainbow Six Siege?
You'd be surprised. Like, I feel like they do a lot of like lighting and stuff on those maps, and I'm pretty sure they still release new maps for that game.
But what I'm saying is the people who care about that game in an esports sense aren't playing with those settings on anyway. They're playing them in the lowest settings to get the most frame rate. And like at that point, DLSS doesn't matter if you're playing it on the lowest settings. DLSS only really matters if you're
like
trying to
a small community of people that play that like esport, but there's a big community of people that just play that game recreationally. I know
fair enough.
A bunch of friends
fair
who
enough.
were trying to get me to play, and I was like, I have never played. Do I start now?
I'm
I
just
don't know.
saying,
Everyone that plays in that game plays it very competitively, whether it's just casual or not.
I don't see the appeal of adding ray tracing and deal. I don't see like that, I don't see that being on the figurative box and being like, okay, now I'm going to buy Rainbow Six Siege,
But what if it's just them implementing it in the engine and it just has, now this means a bunch of those Ubisoft games are going to get DLSS. And
again, fair enough. But it was just weird to see that. But here's the big one. It's coming to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
So now you'll be able to ray trace that game and run it at a decent frame rate, which is hard enough to do as it is. But DLSS is huge for Red Dead. I think that's a big gain for them. But I thought that was really cool. But that leads into my other topic. It's going to sound kind of newsy, but this is more of a conversation. So AMD announced their DLSS competitor. It is Fidelity FX Super Resolution. It is a terrible name, but they did a demo with a 6800 XT. They were running Godfall 4K ray tracing, basically max settings. Natively, it runs, and it was running on like a Zen 3 processor. Natively, it runs at 49 FPS. In their ultra quality mode, it ran at 78. In their quality mode, it ran at 99. In their balanced mode, it ran at 124. And in their performance mode, 4K ray tracing, 150 FPS. Which is insane. But that's not the craziest part. They did another demo with it running on a GTX 1060. Their ray tracing, their super resolution is compatible with NVIDIA graphics cards from Pascal all the way through Ampere. So your 10 series cards, your 20 series cards, and your 30 series cards are all compatible by default with their super resolution. And unlike NVIDIA's proprietary DLSS, any developer can implement it early in their development process. So it's not something that you need to specifically code for. It's just something like you kind of, I don't fully understand, but it's something you can just make a decision in the beginning of your development. It's like, okay, we're going to add this. And then it just kind of works from that point. Whereas you have to do specific work to support DLSS. On a 1060, they got a 41% increase. It was 1440p Epic preset. They were getting 27 FPS. They jumped to 38. Now, again, we're talking 27 to 38, but we're talking about a frame rate that is not good at 27 to one that is at least very playable at 38. We're going from I hate this to I can tolerate this with the flip of a switch, basically, on a graphics card that is getting up there in age. And a lot of people still have GTX 1060s. That was the craziest part to me, that they are supporting out of the box older graphics cards. For quality settings, they have 10 studios and engines in 2021. They have over 10. That's such a weird thing. Over 10 studio and engines. And then they're supporting over 100 GPUs and CPUs. And apparently they are expecting more support very soon. It's going to be available June 22nd. And like, that's the thing, is you don't need to do anything. Like, where DLSS, you have to have a card that has like the RT cores, that has to have the DLSS. It just works. It's built into the game engine, and it's how it like communicates with the GPU and the CPU and stuff like that. This is insane. And I think the real like, the meat and potatoes here is, one, all those folks who can't get GPUs right now just got an upgrade. The people who can't get their hands on a new graphics card, and they're still like, Tony, I know you got my 2080 in there, but if you still had your 1070, you would be getting super resolution support in the games that support it. And like, to me, that's great. Like, your graphics card could have just doubled its performance overnight. Now, granted, it's going to take support from developers, and it's going to take support in engines, but like, this is a huge thing for these consoles. Just think about that. Think about how last generation went, to the point where we had to get a PlayStation 4 Pro and an Xbox One X just to keep games running at 30 FPS or to get to 4K or whatever the case may be. These consoles should be running at 60 FPS 5, 6, 7 years from now, thanks to this, based on those performance mode numbers, because they're running relevant CPUs that should still stay good for a long time. And just, by the nature of the consoles being consistent, this removes the need 3 years from now to upgrade to a stronger console, because you'll just be able to do it. Like, with super resolution, you'll just be able to make these consoles perform better just on the software side. That's crazy.
I was going to say, that's what like PlayStation was all talking about with their initial like how they're structuring with like how the memory is stored in these games. Mm-hmm. That's what they were talking about. So I imagine that with PlayStation's hardware, like how they're storing memory and stuff, and it's just gonna be crazy how the lifespan these consoles can go for, essentially. Which is good news to me, because I have a PS5. So
yeah, no, and like, I just like the idea that 5 years from now I could still just be playing on my PS5. There's not the incentive isn't there to need to upgrade. Because if you can get the same performance out of the same hardware, Sony and Microsoft don't need the cost of developing new hardware. They don't need to resell that, and they don't need to worry about having that available. They can just continue to iterate on this hardware like they did with the 360 and like they did with the PS3. Iterate on the hardware and let the developers use the tools that are available to make the games still run. Like, imagine, dude, 2 years from now, we could get a patch. You know how Miles Morales, they had to cut it down to 1080p, 60 FPS with ray tracing, and they had to take some of the population down. Imagine performance mode, or like, quality mode is just, hey, it's 4K 60, and we just have, the performance DLSS on, or we have this DLSS on that, or not DLSS, but super resolution, that just, we're using super resolution to get there now. So we can give you 4K, we can give you 60 FPS, and we can give you ray tracing without having to remove the number of people on the screen or cars on the screen, without having to make those sacrifices. Or again, 5 years from now, when they want to make like the next crazy like graphical jump, it's like, well, super resolution. Just super resolution. And now it's like, okay, well, this runs at 30 FPS now, 4K 30. It's like, okay, what if we do performance super resolution? Okay, yeah, now we're running at 4K 80. And it's like, can we keep it at pretty locked 60? Couple dips here or there, into the high 50s. It's like, perfect, ship it. Nobody's going to complain about it. Nobody's going to complain about a dip from 60 to 58 every once in a while, It's the dip from 60 to 30. And you can't change it. That's what upsets people. I think this is crazy. Like, I'm just thinking about like these consoles, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm not gonna have to buy another console for a long time. This is great, especially if they let users have that choice. If that becomes something that a user can decide, instead of picking quality and performance, just pick your super resolution. How much frame rate do you want? Suddenly, 4K 120 isn't a pipe dream on these things anymore. You could still do that 5 years from now. That's nuts. Like, holy shit. And that's not even talking about all the benefits on the PC side of the people who have the older graphics cards and stuff like that. And the fact that it's going to get easier for everyone to take advantage of it, including Nvidia people. Because a game doesn't need to support DLSS anymore. They just need to, use this open, not only open, but non-proprietary super resolution, and it just works. That's insane. I love it. Like, AMD is making the right moves right now. And, NVIDIA is still kind of the powerhouse in terms of raw performance. But boy, is AMD exciting with moving the industry forward. Like that's what they're doing. NVIDIA is looking at, okay, how can we make the best product? And it feels like AMD is looking at how can we make everyone else's product better, through our products, and shit, like I'm excited. Like games just got easier to run. Games can now look better, run better. There are less sacrifices to be made, assuming all of this works as well as it sounds. But it sounds like it's going to work real well. I don't want to get too crazy where I'm like, oh my God, I know I sound like crazy, oh my God, but like assuming this all works as advertised, this is crazy. And like it's so cool. I can't wait to see like how this ends up looking in the end. But yeah, I guess that's my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
On super resolution. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's exciting to me. But I don't know. Did you guys have anything you guys wanted to talk about this week?
My Knicks lost. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Damn, that's a shame.
I don't feel like you feel that way, pal.
I don't feel like you do either. That didn't feel genuine.
Damn, where was you? Why would you think such a thing? Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis has an official launch date now.
Ooh. When is it?
June 9th.
Oh my God.
Next week.
Oh my God.
That's exactly 1 week from now. So I'll be busy with that. It's gonna be great. And they did like a live stream where they kind of laid out the roadmap of this year. And it's looking good. I can't wait for it.
I might have to try that again. Well, I don't know if I should right now because I got to play.
Oh, man, there's just so many things yeah.
I know. And then June 9th, and then June 10th. Okay, so that's June 9th. June 10th is Ratchet and Clank.
Oh boy.
June
Is that coming
11th.
out for PC? I can't remember. Are they gonna do a PC release that?
No. Wait, hold on. Which one? One of them is June 11th. One of them is the 10th, and one of them is the 11th. I got to figure out if it's Final Fantasy. Hold on.
Wish they would release Ratchet and Clank on PC.
Final Fantasy VII No, I'm sorry. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is June 10th. Ratchet and Clank is June 11th. And I don't have any time left because oh my God. I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy, and then I'm going to be playing Ratchet and Clank. Then I have to go somewhere. I'm not gonna be around on the 12th, so I'm not gonna get to play any of them. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm probably gonna play Ratchet and Clank till it's done. But like, goddamn, like 2021 is shaping up to be like a damn good year for games.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty good.
Against all odds, it's getting real good. A lot of good ports, some good remasters. I need to play Resident Evil 8 because like I've heard so many good things and like so many people are telling me I need to play it. I'm going to have to start that at some point. Cuz I can't ignore it anymore basically. but like, goddamn. Yeah, I mean that's I've talked about everything I got. There's nothing else. It sounds like we got the end of a show here. Unless you got anything, Nat, or if you have anything else, Tony.
No Man's Sky is getting a new update, right?
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about earlier. They already got it. I think it launched today. That's why I was asking if they added ray tracing with that, because they added DLSS to that game.
Yeah, they added DLSS.
They redid like the lighting. They added fur to the monsters. They're now like flying pets.
Screen space reflections and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had ray tracing in this. I think it's just DLSS.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, it was enough that I thought about playing No Man's Sky again.
Oh, you should have played like last week. Did you hear what
I heard about the Normandy.
Yeah. I thought about getting on to play. I was like, I don't want to.
I don't think I'm actually going to play No Man's Sky again. I like that's it. It's just that is an investment that I can't make right now. especially now that I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 again.
Especially next week, yeah.
I
can't
to
make the investment in it.
Yeah, I can't put in the time that No Man's Sky would require. It's just not possible at this time. But yeah,
that's everything I got.
All right, Nat, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, that's a show, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out, for watching, for listening, whatever you're doing. Thanks for being here with us every week, and we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Later.